Hi. Hi. Wagoo. Hi, Cleo. Hi. I go. I go. How? Wow. I could. That was a laugh, and I caught it on video. Hey, welcome to WACTS. This is episode 44. I have a co-host this evening. This week we're covering what we did, I guess, from November 30th to December 7th, 2015. We're really reaching toward the end of the year. I just gotta jump right into baby stuff because this guy is too cute and I can't not talk about him. He's talking so much. He's at this point now where he is really happy to just say the same sound like 50 times in a row, like he really wants to get it down. And he's doing great. He's like really in a good mood. Health-wise, dietary-wise, still not quite sure what's going on, but he's not acting sick at all. He's happy and he's giggling and he's having a good time. Ow. 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 We got smiles and everything and high-pitched noises. Yeah, life's good. Life's good, folks. It's Monday. Yeah, this weekend was pretty intense. We did a lot of Christmas stuff. Well, you know what, let's just crunch all the categories together. Let's just do some stream of consciousness stuff because he's going to be distracting me the whole time with his adorableness. Hi. Where's Papa's nose? Where's Papa's nose? That's right. See, you got my nose. Pretty good. So what happened this weekend? We got a Christmas tree. I thought we were going to film this episode in front of it, but he's having a really good time in his chair right now in the kitchen. So we're hanging out here. I wrapped some presents because I just needed some kind of like simple task to focus on that wasn't going to require a lot of brain power. Mentally, I'm pretty exhausted. Not even so much with him. It's just there's so much work stuff going on right now between my office, really busy week in my office last week, a lot of cracked stuff. Listen, look at him. A lot of work on my Vulture video for Flash versus Flash. A lot of tutorials and stuff going on for what I'm doing for Equinox, and yeah, it's just adding up. It's a lot, all the while, and yeah, these are all projects, and I'm trying to teach myself new stuff along the way. And then, of course, I just want to spend time with this guy. I just want to hang out and read books with him and bounce around with him and have long conversations about the meaning of life. And yeah, it's kind of hard to focus on other things when there's someone this cute and happy and talkative hanging out, right? That's right. And so, you know, there's like, I was just telling my wife uh-oh, yeah, he's starting to get a little bored with the chair. I was just telling my wife how it's amazing because we have all these incredible video games now. A lot that came through like promotions through Black Friday and getting gifts for people and stuff like that. And there's no time to play any of them for either of us. For me, it's all these projects I'm doing. For her, it's all the time the baby takes up. And it's weird to just have this stockpile of like really fun things that we'd like to be doing that just there's no time to get to. Mind you, he's an incredibly fun thing to be doing. So it's totally worth it. And he is very receptive to compliments, which is great. Yeah, so, you know, what was going on? While all this other stuff was going on, I was watching a bunch more Christmas movies. A few quick thoughts on some of the other Christmas movies that I was watching. There's a couple great Donald Duck Huey, Dewey, Louie, Chip and Dale ones all having to do with Christmas. They're like 5 minutes long. They're fantastic. You got a kick out of them. I recommend them. I don't think they have titles, but you can find them on YouTube or something. One is where Mickey gets a Christmas tree. One is where Donald does battle with Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale's in the Christmas tree for Mickey. Mickey's Christmas Carol I really like. I haven't watched that yet this year. My wife and I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is hilarious in that it's, especially as I get older now and have more of a sense of office culture and providing for a family and that kind of stuff. There's aspects of that movie that start to ring on a different level. But yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, I'm sure you've seen that. That's a great one. 4 stars, confidence of 5. I actually got to see a little bit of the original Christmas Carol. Mind you, all the Christmas stuff we were watching, there was a lot of in and out because there's all sorts of various things going on. But I'd never seen the original 1943 Christmas Carol, and I found it surprisingly touching. Especially, there's certain things that you. Our cat's trying to knock things over. There's certain things, that's fine, thanks dear, that you assume are kind of modern sentiments.
Okay, Zoe's like a little too interested in the dialogue here.
Hi! Certain personality types, certain ways of behaving that you associate with being modern things, and yet, and I experienced this watching It's a Wonderful Life, A Streetcar Named Desire, where when the acting is really good and the script is really good and the characters are really well drawn, even in an old movie, those things can ring really universally. So out of what I saw from Old Christmas Carol, I really liked it, and I'd like to see the entire thing at some point, maybe this year, maybe next year. We watched Love Actually, which hilariously we have a British friend who has told us that this is a movie that very few British people actually like, but we get a kick out of it. It's super sad though, of course, because Liam Neeson, of course, actually lost his wife, so there's a very tragic element to watching what should be a pretty happy-go-lucky Christmas movie. I showed my wife The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. That's one that I've watched pretty much every year since I was a kid. There's something really fun about Santa Claus being a family business. Arthur Christmas also tackles that really well. And then lastly, not lastly for the year, but lastly for this weekend, The Snowman, which is a super beautifully animated, well-drawn, poignant, heartbreaking tale of a boy who creates a snowman and goes on a wonderful midnight adventure with him, and then wakes up the next morning to find that he's melted and died. Spoiler alert. And the music's amazing and touching, and the whole thing is incredible. So if you haven't seen The Snowman, check that out. Right? Yeah, he was very upset by it. No, he's at We're Having Fun. He's in a good mood. Look at the smiles. He has lots of comments on things. He has very strong opinions on things. So architecture this week, there was a lot going on. I had 5 different projects kind of stacking on top of each other. I had a meeting, this kind of goes into the VR stuff, a meeting in the Park Avenue Armory for a production I'm going to be doing called Demateri, which was a really good VR meeting. I've talked about this a couple times. It's really satisfying when a meeting that would have been a PowerPoint presentation or just kind of showing some CAD files becomes much more interactive and okay, well, all these things we're talking about, let's experience it. So I brought the Oculus Rift goggles, I had my laptop, and we were looking at 4 different schemes and how the seating changed across those different schemes, toggling different things on and off the stage. I also got some really good scripting down that allowed us to have 2 key seats, and then in each scheme, as you toggle between the schemes, in the past, if you toggle between schemes, your eye is going to stay where it is. I've now found a way to script it so that I can basically have equivalent seats in each scheme, and so if you're in one seat, and then you go to another scheme, you just press one button and you'll jump right to the equivalent seat in the other scheme. I could automate it and kind of get rid of the button, which would be great. And so, yeah, that's where we're going with that. But it's interesting, too, just the meeting thing, because sometimes there's always a question of when in a meeting do you show something like the Oculus Rift or a VR experience, because if you do it at the beginning, it might make it harder to go back to the flatter stuff if there do need to be some plans and sections and that kind of stuff presented during the talk. But if you save it till the end, like we did in this case, it becomes a little bit of a circus, because suddenly it's this cool toy that everyone wants to look at, and because we're using it as an analytical tool, it can be kind of difficult sometimes to get everyone settled down and be like, okay, no, but seriously, let's compare all these different schemes, because, yeah, one person we had sit down who'd never seen the Rift before was just looking around and being like, holy shit, guys, you gotta see this! Sorry, Alasdair, I'm gonna try really hard not to curse in front of you until you're much, much older, like 40. Okay, let's keep that up. So yeah, busy week in architecture. Similar stuff this week. I had to work a little bit this weekend on a project where we're trying to figure out some stuff with box schemes. I wasn't able to log in remotely to my office computer, which was really frustrating. I think it had shut down to do updates or something like that. And because I do everything remotely through like Splashtop, and it's a really convenient way to get work done from home. Wasn't able to do that well this weekend until late at night, because luckily someone was at the office, was able to turn on my computer. Architecture stuff, more stuff going on in the armory this week and all that. And yeah, and all this stuff, it's just everything's out of order because I'm so distracted by him. But I was also going to mention in the outro that I was invited by Brian Lonsley's studio up at Syracuse, the same group that I gave a little talk to when they came down to New York. I'm going to go up this week to Syracuse for a day to be a guest critic, which is one of those things I think as a student you kind of fantasize about. Like, how cool would it be if I get to come back and, like, you know, tell these students what's what and that kind of thing. So they enjoyed my talk enough. I was going to say so much, but they enjoyed it enough when they were down here in New York City that they invited me to come up and be a critic, which would be great. And it works out doubly well because the theater group, these are all happy screams. You can see the smile, so it's okay. I'm not, neglecting him or anything. The theater group that I started in college, Warehouse Architecture Theater, along with Anton Spina and Ian Nicholson and Morgan Shaw and all those good guys, still going strong. Not so much in the architecture school anymore, but like doing great across campus. They actually have a show on Friday night, so I'm gonna do like half a day of work here from home, then drive up to Syracuse, see the show, hang out, meet some of the new cast members, because I haven't been to Syracuse in 5 years, so I don't know anyone who's part of the cast anymore, which is really crazy. And then I'll do a bunch of critiquing stuff on Saturday, then I'll come back to rejoin my wife and son here, because there's the option that we could take him or take a drive with him or something like that. But when a baby's not when you're not sure what might be causing any kind of illness or discomfort, it's really, really, I think, an instinct to want to make sure all that stuff is worked out before there's any traveling. So we're pretty much, speaking to the holidays and all that, keeping him home as much as we can until we have everything sorted out and the rest of his body is behaving as wonderfully as he's behaving right now. Because he's just a happy baby. He's doing good. What else? Boop-a-doop-a-doop.
You should just say segment on how you're the least stern father ever, because you look at him like you're going to be stern, and then he smiles, and you're like, I give up.
This is true. I never thought I'd have trouble disciplining children. As a kid, I was always like, oh, I'll show them, because I never felt like I was disciplined that well as a kid. My parents would make, kind of like, oh, you better do this, and then if we didn't, there was no punishment, and then in some ways that made us pretty lax about stuff. Chores and whatnot, so I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a really strong father who tells his children to do things and they'll do them. But looking at him, I can be upset with him about something, and if I look at him and he smiles like that, I just melt. Same thing with Liz, and I think it makes it so hard to be upset for even a second, even if I'm exhausted, even if he's screaming or something like that. A little smile is all it takes, and man, he's got me in the palm of his hand. Lastly, I guess, TV. The Leftovers had a crazy good season finale and season, and my God, there's just been nothing else like this show on television. I think you can see echoes and hints of Lost in there. There's little elements, the whole way the show started this season and kind of ended. It has echoes of the episode Across the Sea that was supposed to give you the origin of the Man in Black and all that. But because The Leftovers is not structured as a mystery, because it's not structured as a wait till next week when you'll find out the answers to these things, and because it's more of an exploration of a lot of interesting issues and complicated feelings and that kind of thing, it works really well. There's very few definitive answers, and when there are definitive answers, like finding out what happened to the girls who went missing, it's really satisfying because it's not something you were waiting for. You weren't like, they better answer this. It's just like, oh, they actually there was an answer to this, and cool. It's a good surprise. But all the stuff going on with this purgatory world, which again kind of reminds me of the whole season 6 thing in Lost. But that was really cool, the International Assassin thing. We get a little reprise of it in the season finale. That was great. Homeland, doing great. The Affair, doing great. I'm really right there with everything it's doing. It's cool to see Noah aware of how much of an asshole he is, but kind of come to terms with it. Like it keeps things interesting. Like everyone in that show right now, I'm fascinated by in a way that I don't think I've been before. Like in the pilot, I guess I was extremely excited by everyone. So yeah, The Affair's doing great. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, killing it. Interesting to see. Hi. I don't know what I'm thinking. Again, like all these shows, I'm still kind of thinking critically while I'm watching them, but Baby on the Brain, just everything kind of washes over in a different way. Like I'll look at something and be thinking about the lighting, the cinematography, the shot composition, the storytelling, if there were lines being said that didn't need to be said, things that could have just been told visually. All this stuff is going through my head as usual when I'm watching this stuff, but I couldn't like take you through an analysis the same way that I might have, earlier in these WACTS episodes, like earlier in the year. So yeah, Last Man on Earth was a lot of fun. Walking Dead's over right now. This season ended fine. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it for TV, right, buddy? Oh, I started watching Veep today. Seems like a fun show. I remember I tried to start watching it a year or two ago, and it was a little bit too fast-paced for me to have on as a background thing. Like, it kind of gave me a headache. I think I might be in the right mindset now to enjoy that properly, so we'll see how that goes. Besides that, I'm trying to watch a lot of tutorials, a lot of Unreal stuff, V-Ray stuff. I'm doing, on the ride home today, I was doing a bunch of material tests to make sure everything was working there. Random food stuff, Amazon this year, Black Friday, all that, they changed over from doing the, like, if you choose, take forever shipping, takes like a week. If you choose a longer shipping period, instead of doing $1 promotional credit for movie rentals and stuff like that, it's $6 for Amazon Prime Pantry, and we're like, wow! And so we had ordered a bunch of things from Amazon, excuse me, and got all these Prime Pantry credits, and it's like, that's awesome, we have like $40 in credit. But you're only allowed to use $6 per Prime Pantry order, and there's like a minimum for how much before you can like ship a Prime Pantry box. So not as great of a deal as you'd think, and it's not like they have a huge selection of healthy food or anything like that in the Prime Pantry box. It's mostly snack food, mostly junk food. We're also going to try out our possibly final, we haven't tried out plated, but Blue Apron is going to be probably the last home delivery food service thing we try out for a while, so that should be coming around New Year's. I do miss, it's been a while since I've had a home delivery thing, and I do kind of miss the simplicity of, oh yeah, all this food has arrived, and we know exactly what to do with it. It keeps things simple. Because, yeah, we're not ordering any of the other ones because we said we were going to do trials of each of them. And those trials are over, and now we'd have to pay like full price, and we're going to save money. But yeah, it's something I might come back to if we're ever flush with cash or something like that. But hey, life's good, things are going well. Pretty cool to start wrapping up the year. It's crazy to think I'll be hitting, I think I'll have 48 episodes of this by the end of the year, and we'll have a pretty good chronicling of pre-baby life and post-baby life. Maybe I'll check in here and there next year, maybe not, but just to see how he's doing, watch him grow. I think, since I do these yearly projects, last year's Productive Commuter, this year is this. I think next year I'm going to try to do each week learning something completely new. Doesn't have to be structured or anything, could just be a tutorial, but just trying out something completely new. My friend Danton did something kind of like this for his every week for a year. I think he was structuring things more into like actual projects. But I kind of miss in college having like a digital music composition class and a playwriting class and my architecture stuff and a film studies class. I really like that variety, and I'm very happy teaching myself stuff. I feel very intellectually stimulated in my life right now. Ooh, he's almost unhappy. Oh, okay, we're gonna wrap up. So yeah, I think it would be just kind of nice to just be like, oh, learning something new each week, different categories of things. And inevitably, I find so much of that stuff comes back to help me in some capacity. Yes, right? All good. What a weird episode. He's been talking pretty much the whole time, but it's cool. Hey! So, sayonara. Next week I'll talk a little bit about baby stuff. Oh, and really quick, I don't know if I mentioned, I saw Trace and Some Dog in the Nighttime in Broadway. It was fine. I probably read the book too recently. It was a good telling of the story. It didn't blow me away. I thought the set design was really cool. Did a really good job of putting you in the headspace of Christopher and autism and all that, and feeling overwhelmed by the world around you, giant advertisements, not being able to filter things. I'm going to go take care of my baby. That's it for this week. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.